Have you ever wondered, have you ever thought, life is just really messed up? My life is messed up. It's hard, it's rough, and I don't know what's coming next. What can I do? Does God have a plan for me? Is he going to use me? What should I do? You guys ever think that? You ever feel like maybe your life is a little too messed up to be any good? A lot of us have felt that. I want to share with you some aspects out of the life of Joseph today. Things that I think we can relate to, at least some of them we can relate to. Some of them I think we'll probably find we don't relate to very well, but some of the feelings we probably do. Jacob, Joseph's father. Jacob started out fighting with his brother, his twin brother, stealing the birthright from Esau. He lied to his father, to Isaac. He said, "Oh yes, Isaac, I'm Esau. Give me the blessing." And as a result of that, his brother said, "I am going to kill you." And he meant it. Jacob had to run. He left home, never saw his mother again. She died before he got back home. And he started life, continued life, kind of messed up. He was a liar. He was a thief. He was a trickster. He got things by fraud, by cheating other people. It's not a surprise then that Jacob was lied to by his father-in-law Laban. He said, "I want to marry your daughter Rachel. She is the girl of my dreams. I want her." And Laban says, "Oh, I'd love to have you for a son-in-law. And since you can't afford to pay, you said you'll do anything you want. Work for me for 7 years." And Jacob said, "You're on. Deal." And it was the best 7 years of his life. Because guess what comes after that? So when it's time for the wedding, he gets a trick played on him. Laban gives him Leah, the older daughter, instead, the daughter that Jacob did not want. This was not the girl of his dreams. He's stuck with her all of a sudden. And Laban says, "Oh, didn't I tell you? The older one has to be married before the younger one. Too bad. But if you want to work another 7 years, you can have Rachel." And so he ends up another 7 years for Rachel. And so the family dynamics are set up. 2 wives, one that is not wanted, but there, and the other one that he really wanted. And listen to how that plays out as they start growing their family. Leah, the unwanted wife, her first son, she names him Reuben. "Look, a son." And she says, "God saw my misery." She says, "Now my husband will love me." That sound like good family dynamics? She's just hoping for love. The next son, named Simeon, she says, "I was unloved." Number 3 boy, Levi. Leah says, "Now he will have affection for me. Maybe now he'll love me. I've given him 3 sons. Maybe I'll be loved now." And the 4th son, Judah, praise God. Maybe something's happening now. The tables turn now to Rachel, the loved wife, who has had no children. Leah is 4 years in at least, 4 sons, and Rachel, nobody. Rachel says to Jacob, "Give me children, Jacob. Give me children. I think I'm going to die without them." Jacob says, "Is that my job? I'm doing my part. Don't blame me. This is God's problem." And Rachel turns to a familiar solution. She says, "Well, here's my servant girl. She can be the surrogate mother. You have children with her, and they'll be my children." That was an accepted practice in some cultures. Abraham had tried it. Sarah had tried it with Abraham, and it did not work out well. This is Jacob's grandfather. You'd think that they would remember that this is not a good plan. But no, they launch right into it. So her servant Bilhah has kids, Dan, and Rachel's the one that gets to name them. She names him Dan. God judged. And Rachel said, "He heard me. He gave me a son." The next one, named him My Struggle. And Rachel says, I fought with my sister and I won. Now the kids are mine. We're having kids too. Does this sound like a fun place to grow up? Wow. Now Leah says, oh no, they're catching up. Here, Jacob, here's my servant, Zilpah. Have some more kids for me. And so away they go. The first one is named Gad. An army's coming. Yay for our team. We're getting more. Now there's 7. No, there's 4 or 5 on this side against 2. The next one, named Happy. Now they're going to celebrate with me. These women in this household are just competing for the love of Jacob, competing to be somebody. Now we have a story. Excuse me. Story of Reuben, the oldest, goes out in the field, and Reuben, remember he's Leah's son, he finds some mandrakes in the field. Mandrakes are a plant. They have a pretty bushy top, a pretty flower. When you pick them, the root can look a lot like a person. It can, some of the drawing sketches, you'll see people like this. It's got lots of little roots. Sometimes it looks like legs, like arms. It looks like little people. And the belief was that this will promote fertility. I mean, look, little people, right? If you eat this, you can have little people. And so Rachel says to Leah, your son found these mandrakes. I want them. I'm the one that needs them. And Leah says, are you kidding? You stole my husband from me. Are you going to steal my mandrakes too? Not on your life. Rachel says, I'll make you a deal. You get to sleep with Jacob tonight if I can have your mandrakes. And Leah says, okay, that's worth it. And so Jacob comes home from the field. Look at the situation he's got himself into. He comes home from the field, and Leah greets him. Guess what? You're mine tonight. You're going to spend the time with me, not with her, because I bought you. Ooh, isn't that a lovely way to come home? No wonder those first 7 years were the happiest years of Jacob's life, right? These ones certainly are not. Things are not going good at home. And guess what happens? Leah starts having babies again. Leah has Issachar. And she says, when she names him Issachar, she says, this is my reward. God has rewarded me for giving my servant to Jacob. Ooh. And the next one, Zebulun. Leah says, now God will respect me. He's given me 6 sons. Not God. Now Jacob will respect me. Jacob, my husband, will respect me. I 6 sons. So into this mess. Now there's 10 sons in the family. Now comes Joseph. Finally, Rachel has a son. Rachel has Joseph. Rachel is the favorite wife. She has her firstborn son. And he comes in. Now there's 11 brothers, and it is a mess. You think your family's a mess? This family was a mess. It was bad. So this is what Jacob grows up in. He grows up with 4 mothers in the house. Sometimes my boys think they have trouble pleasing one mother, right? Trying to figure out what she wants them to do. Sometimes it's very plain what she wants them to do. They just don't want to do it. And sometimes everything goes great. Can you imagine if there's 4 mothers in the house? The fights that would go on, I don't have to do what you say. You're not my mom. Well, Dad said you have to do it. Yeah, but Dad's gone. So it was really bad. This is what Joseph is being raised in. And while this is going on, brothers number 2 and 3, Simeon and Levi, they kill an entire town. They're upset because their sister went out, got taken hostage. The prince of the town fell in love with her, says, I want her to be my wife. And the brothers take offense to how this whole thing went down. And they scheme and they plan and they get the whole town, whether incapable of fighting, they make a deal and they say, oh yeah, we want to be just like you. We'll be circumcised. Let's go for this. It's gonna work out well. And they kill every male in the whole town. Just slaughter them. Jacob says, what are you guys doing? We're gonna be exterminated. This is not how you do public relations in a foreign country. You don't kill the entire town and then take the rest of the town captive. So that's going on. Reuben, the number one son, ends up sleeping with his father's concubine, with the servant of Rachel, his brother's mom. Messed up family. This is where Joseph is raised. This is Joseph's background. This is Joseph's family. Turns out Joseph is the favorite child. His brother hated him. Joseph has dreams of greatness. Let's read Genesis 37, 5. Have you ever had dreams of greatness? You kind of feel, yeah, life's messed up, but I still, there's things I want to do, things I want to be. I've got these visions of being somebody or doing something. Joseph had dreams of greatness. One night, Joseph had a dream. When he told his brothers about it, they hated him more than ever. "Listen to this dream," he said. "We were out in the field tying up bundles of grain. Suddenly, my bundle stood up, and all of your bundles bowed down to it." They circled around and they bowed down. His brothers responded, "Do you think you're going to be our king? Do you actually think you'll reign over us?" And they hated him all the more because of his dreams and the way he talked about them. Joseph didn't have the common sense to just be quiet about his dreams, right? How well do you think that's going to go? "Hey, brothers, I had another dream. Guess what I dreamed? You're all bowing down to me." You think that's going to go good with 10 older brothers that are probably like 12, 13, 15 years older than you? Yeah, did not go well. Soon, Joseph had another dream. And again, he told his brothers about it. "Listen, I had another dream," he said. "The sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowed down to me in this one." This time he told the dream to his dad as well. But his father scolded him. "What kind of dream is that?" he said. "Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow to the ground before you?" He says, "Joseph, you're out of your mind. You think our whole family is going to bow down in front of you?" But while his brothers were jealous of Joseph, his father wondered what the dreams meant. So Dad scolded him, and Dad also says, "Boy, I wonder what this means. What is this?" So Joseph grew up in a messed up family. Joseph has dreams of greatness. And then he experiences betrayal. He goes to visit his brothers. You guys remember the story. He's sent there on an errand. The brothers saw him coming, and they made plans to kill him. They said, look, that dreamer's coming." Ha, ha, ha. "We are 65 miles away from Dad. Nobody's ever going to know what happens. Let's kill him. We'll take care of this problem now. It's not going to be a problem anymore. No more dreams after this. Let's kill him." Reuben says, wait. Let's think about it a little bit first. Just take him captive. So they grab him. They throw him in a pit. Can you imagine? Here's Joseph. These are his brothers, flesh and blood, relatives, and they rip his coat off. They throw him down in a hole. They leave him there. He's abandoned. He's betrayed. And then they sit down to eat like nothing happened. Don't pay any attention to hearing him down there. How would you feel? Your brothers threaten to kill you. They throw you down in the pit. You know what they've done before. They've killed an entire town. It's not at all beyond them to kill you. You're in the pit. Nobody cares. And then it gets worse. Joseph is sold to Ishmaelite traders. Now, these traders are distant cousins. Ishmael, Abraham's son. Midian would have been Isaac's cousin. These are Midianites. So these are just a couple generation descendant from the cousin of Isaac, from Joseph's grandpa. Being sold as a slave was worse than death. How would you like to be a slave? Taken captive? Who knows what's going to happen to you? As Joseph was being hauled away, he could look and he could see the hills where his father lived. Can you imagine what that would feel like? Watching home pass by, knowing Dad is just right over there. If I could just get there, I'd be okay. And you can't. Ellen White says that Joseph gave himself up to uncontrolled grief and terror for a while, sobbing, terrified, taken to a foreign land. And then it says he learned in a few hours what would have taken him years to learn otherwise, or what years would not have taught him. In that short time, Joseph grew up a lot. Joseph thought about his father's God, and he committed himself all the way to God. He said, God, I am yours. I will follow you no matter what. Sometimes it's when we're at our lowest, when life is really, really hard, that we turn to God. That's our chance to turn to God. Some of you know what this is like. You're away from your families. You're not going to see them for a long time. You're in a foreign country. You're in hard places, hard times. How are you going to respond? Do you give yourself to God, or do you just keep on going? You get to choose. Sometimes it's when life really falls apart that we can see clearly. Turn to God. Reach out for him. He's still there. In Egypt, Joseph is now in Potiphar's house. He's now surrounded by idolatry. He's surrounded by the riches of the richest kingdom in the world. Everything there is to be had is right there, and he's in the middle of it. He stayed true to God. He didn't hide it. He didn't hide his religion. Well, I'll just worship when nobody's watching. He says, no, this is who I am. No, I don't take part in that, but I'll do this. I'll take care of your things. And in 10 years, Joseph ends up running the place. He's running the whole household, the whole estate, everything for Potiphar. Potiphar's high up in the Egyptian government, and Joseph's running everything. Joseph's steadfast efforts, his hard work, his industry, his care, his energy, he put all those in, and then God crowned it with his blessing. That's why Joseph succeeded. Not because God just said, here, Joseph, I give this to you. You don't succeed because God just says, here you go, you're a success. You succeed because of your hard work, your diligence, your honoring God, and God's blessing on top of that. Everything you do is not enough, but it doesn't happen without what you do. It's both together. Your hard work, your faithfulness, God's blessing put together. That's how Joseph succeeded. And how was he rewarded? He was faced with temptation, probably the biggest temptation he could face, and it was a no-win situation. Potiphar's wife says, hey, come on, come here. And Joseph was always aware of God. Joseph says, no, I can't do that. I can't sin against my master, and I can't sin against God. How's he rewarded for that? He's abandoned, sent to prison. Potiphar says, I can't have this. This does not work. Put him in jail. And Joseph knew that Potiphar didn't really believe what he was accused of. His head would have been off if Potiphar really believed what he was accused of. But he's still abandoned. His master, his confidant, his mentor, the person he served and loved for 10 years, abandons him. Says, I can't do anything about it. Off you go. Joseph is back in prison. Same story again. He's in chains. He's at the bottom of the pecking order. He's in jail, in the king's jail, the most secure place for the worst criminals against the government. And here's where Joseph is. What does Joseph do? Joseph could have spent his time thinking, why me? Why did this happen? God, what are you doing? He just did what he could do. Joseph served people. He cared about people. And pretty soon, Joseph is in charge of everything that goes on inside the prison walls. He's the one doing everything. He gained their trust. And again, he gets hope. Here come the king's servants. He interprets dreams for them. He helps them out. They say, oh yeah, we'll remember you. We're going to go back to the king. Well, one of them said that. One of them, he said, it's not going to end well for you. You're going to die. But the one, he says, you're going to go back to the king. I will remember you, Joseph. I will talk to the king about you. That gives you hope. Joseph's got hope again. Up and down. You see the pattern of Joseph's life? Up to a high point, things are going good. Crash. No hope, despair. Up, things are going pretty good. Crash. And now Joseph's got hope again. Yeah, I'll talk to the king about you. I can tell you what hope feels like. You guys know what hope feels like. You think, oh, something's going to happen. And nothing happens. 2 more years go by with nothing. Doesn't hear a word. Now what? Opportunity again. Joseph is called in front of the king. The guy finally remembers. And he's called before the king and gives the king advice. You need to find a wise man to put in charge for the famine that's coming. The king says, I think I just found him. It's you. Imagine the surprise that was for Joseph. Whoa. Whoa. Joseph is now the ruler of Egypt. He reconnects, I say the ruler of Egypt, the second in command. He's ruling everything, doing everything for the king. Second in command in Egypt. He reconnects with his family. Things are healed between him and his brothers. Joseph is used by God. He's used by God to save the country. He's used by God to save his family. He's used by God to save the world that they knew of. All the countries surrounding there, Egypt and Joseph's plan saved that whole region from famine. What are some lessons that we can learn from the story of Joseph? You have a messed up life? That's okay. God can use you, even if your life is messed up. God created you for a purpose. He has a plan for you. A plan for you. Even if you are messed up, He has a plan for you. Psalm 139:14 says, I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. God made you. He made you amazing. He made you just in a special way to be you. 139:17 and 18 says, how precious are your thoughts about me, O God. They cannot be numbered. God's thoughts about you, His precious thoughts about you, can't even be counted. They're more than the grains of sand. And when I wake up, you are still with me. God is with us. When we wake up, He still has a plan for my life. He has a plan for your life, even after detours, even after you do things, you mess up. God's got a plan for your life. God gives us dreams. He gives you dreams. He gives you things. He's got things for you to do. If we share those dreams with the wrong people, we just get made fun of. That's what happened with Joseph. But that doesn't mean the dreams aren't given for a reason. It doesn't mean that they won't happen. Just because people make fun of you, just because people laugh at you, just because people say, that's never going to happen, you can't possibly do that, doesn't mean it's not true. God gives dreams. God has plans just for you. When everything fell apart, Joseph committed to God. He had a choice. When everything falls apart, do you throw God out, or do you say, God, you're really mine now. I'm all in for you. What about career planning? Some of you asked a little bit about that. How do we know what God wants us to do? How did Joseph's career planning go? Did he have a plan for his life and say, I'm going to do this and this and this, and then I'll be somebody? How did it work for Joseph? Thrown in a pit, sold into slavery. Make the best of it. Thrown into jail. Make the best of it. Just do your best wherever you are. God controls the situations. That's not your part of the deal. Just do whatever you can where you're at. God controls the situations, and they might look really bad. They looked bad for Joseph. Sold as a slave to a foreign country, human trafficking at its worst. Sold by his family. He made the best of it. You don't control the situations. You just control what you do in the situation you're in. The key is to only focus on what you can control. Always stay faithful to God. There's a difference between our part and his part. A lot of stress in life comes from getting that mixed up. If I'm trying to control God's part and I'm worrying about God's part, it's not going to go very well because I can't control that. I can do nothing about that other than talk to him. But if I focus on my part, I can control that. That's the part God gives me to do. And if you can get those straight, what's my part, what's his part, things are going to go a whole lot better. How did Joseph handle stress? How do you handle stress? How did Joseph do it? He focused on what he could control, and he didn't worry about the rest. He focused on his part. Okay, I'm a slave in Potiphar's house. What can I control? Not very much. I can control how well I do my job. I can control this little piece right here. Okay, I'll do that. I'm just going to focus on that and do my part. And pretty soon, what can Joseph control? Almost everything in the house. But he's still focused on his part. That's how you avoid stress. Just do your part, do it well. Don't focus on God's part. I found for me, God's part is often the why. I don't know why. I want to know why. I'd love to know why. I don't. That's God's part. Should I worry about that? Is it going to do me any good to worry about that? No. Not in the situation I find myself in. It won't do any good to worry about the why. I just got to do my part. I got to do what I can. Let God do his part. That's how you can handle stress. God is preparing you. Each one of you. Listen up. God is preparing you. He's preparing you. He has given you specific strengths, specific abilities. God has given you specific training, or he is giving you specific training for what he has for you to do. And many times that comes through hard things, through trials. What was Joseph's training for being ruler in Egypt? Sold as a slave, ruler of a household. Thrown into jail, ruler of the prison. God's giving you training. It's not very fun sometimes. But if you focus on your part, you will learn, you will grow. And God has given you specific tasks to do. He's either already given them to you or he has them in store. You may not know what they are for a while. Joseph had no clue what his job was, other than those dreams that he had tucked away in his mind. And he didn't know for sure what those were. But he saw them happen. It doesn't matter how messed up your life is. It doesn't matter how young you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. God has a plan for you. And if you mess it up, he makes another plan. If God's plan is for you to go over there and you go over here instead, guess what God does? He makes another plan. Okay, now my plan is for you to go over that way. Okay. No matter where you're at in life, no matter how messed up you've done it, you can still be part of God's plan. He has a plan for you, and he custom makes a new plan every day based on what you've done. You can't get away from it. You can ignore it. You can not pay attention to it. But God has a new plan for you starting today. No matter what you've done wrong, no matter what you've messed up, no matter what you've ignored and said, I don't want to hear it. God says, as soon as I say, God, I'm ready, he says, I've got a plan for you. And it starts right from where you're at. And it goes like this. Do it. Follow that plan. And if you mess up and you fall off, he's got another one. It's just revised just enough to pick you up where you're at and put you back on track again. God's got a plan for you. And it doesn't even matter how little of that plan you see right now. Joseph didn't see the plan. He didn't know what it was. That doesn't matter either. What matters is that you do your part. Let God do his part. Focus on your part and leave God's part to him.